Hey everybody, this is Dominic again. Just wanted to come on here and give you guys an update. It's been about 2 to 3 months since I've been on here, and I just kind of figured this is the right time before the holidays to kind of give an update of my progress. I was in pretty much a 3 month stall the last time I talked to you guys, and honestly, probably for about another month of that was primarily the same. I'm probably down another 15 to 20 pounds um, from the last video that I shot. Puts my total weight loss at about 120 pounds back from December 8th. I'm sorry, yeah, December 7th was my highest of last year. So only, what, 3 days from the decision day for me to go ahead and do the surgery. I was one of those lucky ones who was able to sign up for the surgery, and within 3 or 4 weeks, I was doing the surgery. So, not like a lot of you folks who have to go through a lot of pain and long trial periods with doctors and things like that. So, again, from December 7th of 2011 to December 4th of 2012, I'm down 120 pounds. And there's nothing like it. I mean, there's just nothing else you can compare a life change like this to. And, I'll just kind of briefly tell you that I've gone over in the other videos the what people go through with eating problems is just, it is nothing short of an addiction unlike any other, where you lose self-control. You don't understand why you eat. It's a chemical reaction of when you do eat, you feel so much better. And it's been almost a year now of not having those feelings at all, and it is an amazing, eye-opening, depressing overall thought that that could even be the way someone would live their life. And if anybody's watching this still thinking about doing this surgery, there is nothing that I can think of that you can do to a person that has an eating problem that will make your life so much better than what you're thinking about doing, what I've done, and what so many other people have done. That's my experience. I've had a wonderful experience with my gastric sleeveotomy. It's been great. I have had no complications whatsoever. I will kind of share with you a couple of things that have happened to me since, but this is something else. I'm not where I wanted to be. I honestly thought by the end of the year I'd be about 30 pounds lighter than I am now, but I'll go over a couple of reasons why I know that hasn't happened. But anyway, just to recap this thing, there's not a day that goes by that I don't kind of look back and sometimes get emotional about where I was in my life for so long, and what a relief this has been. And it's been great. And I think my friends and my family, they see me more. I do more with them, and it's just one of those things where you just got to, I hope that you can just muster it up and go do it. I'm going to tell you right now, it's worth every penny, even if you have to pay for it on your own. There's nothing that this money would be better spent. Um, and that says a lot. I mean, I would spend 30 grand if it. I mean, I don't think it's ever going to cost anybody $30,000, but just for a round figure, $30,000 to a charity or $30,000 to you, I would say spend it on you, because you're giving yourself life, which will benefit so many things more than just you, and you'll never realize it until you do it. So anyway, let me just kind of give you a couple things. So one, I told you it's been about 2 or 3 months since I've been on here. I've lost another 15, 20 pounds since then, putting me at about 120 pounds. I went on about a 4 or 5 month stall where I didn't lose a thing. Um, Along the way, I found myself, I got stuck at 280, then I got stuck at 270, and just for some reason my body plays tricks on me, and breaking those barriers seemed to take forever. I'll go from 279 to 271 and it seems like a couple of days, and then it takes me a couple of weeks to get from 271 to 269, which is kind of weird. But um, I am one of those people that jumps on the scale every day. I still do now. It's just part of my routine. I don't mind it. I don't get depressed about it when it says something I don't like. I do that so that I can monitor what I think's working and what's not. So I'll tell you, it's pretty clear why I stalled that long. Since the very beginning, till now, when I was eating normal foods till now, I've never once thought about a different eating plan. As far as the foods that I'm eating, I wasn't eating well-balanced meals all the time. I was just eating a fraction of anything. I was eating hamburger, French fries. No, I don't really eat French fries anymore because it doesn't feel good in my stomach. But I might eat two French fries and a half of a hamburger, and I might do that, 3 or 4 days a week. I know that that's unhealthy, but I was still losing the weight. So, the big thing here, and I mentioned on my other couple of videos is, and I know exactly why I stalled. Obviously, the day-to-day meals, I don't think that it plays a lot into it because I'm not eating anything. Um, but it's the sweets, and it's really the sweets that just that are easy to eat, if I could put it that way. For me, it's bread, anything in the breads kind of thing, muffins and breads and things like that. They seem to go down pretty good, um, and I guess they always have. But with your diet and the way the gastric sleeve works, I think they kind of go down a lot easier. So I've gone through so many bad eating phases over the last 4 or 5 months. Um, and I went through a thing where I just chocolate chip muffins in the morning. I would have probably two of those a day, if not three of those a day. Not the monster big thing. It's a little, I don't know. For some reason, I just really enjoyed those. Then I went on an Oreo kick where, obviously I'm not eating a ton of them, but over a couple of days, you realize you're eating a lot of bad sugary food. So I've cut back on that a lot. In the previous videos, I mentioned Gatorade as being, that's a lot of sugar in Gatorade, and for some reason, I was able to kind of really stop that altogether. I have been doing the water with the little sweeteners. I think it's called Mio or Mayo, whatever it is. They don't have aspartame in them, and they have very little calories, if any at all. And to me, that completely took me out of the Gatorade phase. So I don't buy Gatorades anymore. And honestly, I had cases of them at my house, drinking a lot of fluid that way. So I stopped Gatorades. I did that, and then plus I do these 1 or 2 week no carb phases just to jolt my weight loss. There's a couple people that I follow on here that did that, did things to kind of jolt the system. I think the better way is probably to go into a workout program, maybe doing yoga or something like that to really jolt your system, which I think I'll start doing next because I have another 50 pounds that I'd like to lose, and just kind of see where that looks. I'd love to be, 190 pounds one of these days. I haven't been 190 pounds since I was a pretty normal sized kid in probably ninth or 10th grade. But anyway, um, what I did was and I'm on one now. I do about 2 weeks on something similar to the Atkins diet, really just um, making sure I have enough protein, which is important for us, and eating some vegetables too. Probably should eat more vegetables than I do. I try to mix in a salad. I should be doing it every day, but I don't. Um, but that's worked real well for me. I got down to 261 and stayed there for a month or two. And then I realized I was really eating a bunch of bad food, and I actually went back up to about 270. And of course, that took a month or two of just eating nothing good for you, just eating whatever I wanted, and obviously just in smaller portions. So took all that stalling and bad eating to finally catch up with me. So I put on about 9 more pounds. Went on the Atkins ish kind of diet and brought that down to 255-ish, and now I'm down to about 250. I'm looking to be 240, so I'm going to stay on this low carb, and for the next couple of days, and hopefully I tip the scales in the 240s. Then I'm kind of going on a small little vacation with my wife, and probably going to we're going up to Seattle, so we're hoping to get some good seafood and stuff like that. So um, that's worked real well for me. I lose about 10 pounds each time I do it, and then when you go off, you probably level out, put another couple pounds on, 1 or 2 pounds, and then do another Atkins phase or whatever. But I'll probably, after I get back from Seattle, I'll do one more of those. What's different about this time around, if you've ever done Atkins or anything, that kind of thing, there's no craving for massive amounts of food, so it's kind of easy. You really don't think about eating that much. So um, that's really about it. I don't really have too much other to tell you. Everything's going great. Have not one regret. Well, I guess only one regret is I didn't do it sooner. I don't have the problems that I've seen other have. I don't have a big skin problem or anything like that. Um, so far so good. Down 120 pounds. It's been about 10 months. And keep in mind, about 4 or 5 months of that, I really didn't lose anything. But it was 100% because I did not follow any kind of plan. Never did from day one. Um, Once I got into eating normal foods, I ate what I wanted. And I find out what works for your body, and everything's good. Um, you know, the things I'm going through now are I kind of buy too much clothes. I really look at things and say I want that and I want that. And it kind of keeps me motivated to keep losing. Um, I told myself if I got down to this point, I could live my whole life at this point. I'm kind of a bigger guy anyway, so I mean, I played tennis in college, and I was about 220 and size 36 waist, and that was fine. So if I lost 30 more pounds, that's where I'd be. So that's what I'm shooting for. I'd like to live. Like to try to get down to about 205, somewhere in that market, somewhere in that area. But that's about it. So just going down the list here, just want to make sure you knew that sweets are going to be tough. I was going to mention there's a guy on here that I listen to a little bit, and he talks about how you can find your way to bad eating, and I've definitely realized that it's hard to eat out. It's if you're like me and you really try not to spend too much money on stuff that you're not going to use. So now I go out to eat, and it's kind of pointless to buy a $15 plate of food when you're only going to nibble on it. So, they talk to you about eating kids' meals and stuff like that. I've kind of gotten in the mode of splitting meals with my wife, or even splitting meals with my little 2-year-old daughter, um, or taking stuff home. Fish, I've really found out something recently that salmon, which is something I've always liked anyway, is really, really, really good. I like a blackened salmon. It's really good. A lot of guys like to eat the steak, filet mignon and stuff. It's good and it's fine, but the fish seems to really, really do well. I was going to tell you one thing. So before I told you I'd never thrown up, I actually did the other day. And it was really kind of a bonehead move. My wife made some chicken that was really good, and I put some on my plate, and I was doing some work, and just old habits. I was eating a bunch of small bites over and over and over and over again, and then I thought, wow, that was pretty good. It's probably a full chicken breast, maybe even like a 1 1/4 chicken breast. Somehow I'd eaten it all, and didn't have any ill effects whatsoever until for about 15 minutes, 20 minutes later, I realized that I ate way too fast, and I didn't realize how much I'd ate. In the past, I could have eaten 5 times that much, but it hit me really hard, and I threw it up, which was kind of an eye-opening experience because it wasn't that I ate bad food. It wasn't that this was a grilled chicken by itself on a plate, nothing else on it. And that's the second time I've thrown up in 10 months on this after the surgery. The first time really wasn't even that. I had taken some of the chewable vitamins on an empty stomach, and it didn't sit well with me, so that came out, but it was like a little pill that big. So I'm keeping up with my vitamins pretty good. I'm not doing a good job with B12. They give you a nasal spray that is you do once a week. Let's see if I've got that here. It's a once a week spray, and it's very convenient. But I haven't used that in a while. For some reason, my insurance doesn't cover it like it should, and I don't sit there and argue with them. I just go ahead and pay it. So it's like $70 a month. Or you can just get those little pills. You got to make sure you use the ones that are sublingual. It's the only B12 that you can use. You can use that. You got to get it straight into the bloodstream. So you have to put it under your tongue, go get shots by the doctor, or you can do the nasal spray, which is once a week, which is very nice. Because I'm not doing the once a week spray, I find it hard to keep up with the B12 because you have to stick it underneath your tongue. It takes about 5 minutes for it to go away. There's no taste to it. I think that mine's strawberry. Oh, here it is. So this is it's called Nascobal. And the people that I went through at Forest Medical Center under Dr. Barker, They do a good job of making sure we get these. And it should just be a $25 copay, but for some reason, every time I go, I pay $75. And so I've stopped doing that. But anyway, it's been 15 minutes now. I'm trying to think of anything else I can tell you. I guess some of the things that you'll notice post-surgery, and some of you might already have noticed this. I have people in my family that that struggle with weight. And you see them, you sit down to eat with them and you realize what you used to be like. Um, for me, you see the plates of food, and first thing is you sit there and think, man, that's a ton of food. How in the world are you ever going to eat that much? And then you see people finish those plates and go back and get more. We're talking normal people. Normal eating will now look to you like, wow, can you imagine eating that much food? And you look at it and you almost feel sorry for them. And we're talking about skinny people who are just eating normal food, thinking, how can you eat a whole hamburger? It's just your mentality changes so much, and it's such a cool feeling. I don't miss any of it. And first couple months, I remember almost being in a depressed mode, thinking I'll never enjoy a piece of pizza. I'll tell you right now, pizza was my favorite thing on the planet. There's nothing I liked more than a piece of pizza or a whole pizza to myself. They don't sit well with my stomach. I think it's the tomato sauce. It doesn't really sit with me. So I've learned that the real thin crust with a little sauce is what I can eat now, and I can kind of munch on it, but it's still not something that sits real well with me. But you'll sit there and watch people eat, and you're like, wow, that's a lot of food. Then you sit there and you see people who are you. These are the people you used to be. And you instantly feel this sense of overwhelming, not guilt, but just sympathy for them, that they have to look at a plate of food like that and feel like they have to just eat it all. Or you see someone get real upset during the day because you realize that they're just hungry, and you realize you used to feel like that. You know exactly the way they feel. You know how tough it is, and then you'll see people. I've got, like I said, I've got people, I see this every day, and, who need help out of the couch, or they come up and down the stairs and they're winded. And it's still so vivid in your mind that you used to have those problems, that you want so desperately to help them. And I hope these videos like this if it helps even one person, it's completely worth it. It's a humbling experience because you guys have known where I've been, and those who somehow are watching this who don't have weight problems, then you don't know this, but it's a debilitating lifestyle. It's so hard on you. It's the mental capacity it takes to deal with a weight problem every single second you're awake is something that I don't wish on my worst enemies. And but what I do wish is that everybody would seriously think about doing this surgery. It is, whether you're doing the lap band, the gastric bypass, or the gastric sleeve. The gastric sleeve, it spoke to me right away. I didn't want something in my body foreign, so I didn't want the lap band. The gastric sleeve, even though it was reversible, it was really strict and hard the first 3 or 4 months. Not that the gastric sleeve isn't, but I just thought it was really too restrictive for me. I wanted a little bit more freedom. And so this really spoke to me as the right way to go. We're not disconnecting anything. You're just taking and making your stomach smaller. And so far, so good. I still need to do my annual blood test to make sure that all my numbers are the right way. But anyway, if there's anything I can do for anybody, any questions I can answer for you, please fire them over. A lot of you do, the kind of instant and the private messages to me, and I appreciate that. I would just keep telling you, ask them in public, because there's somebody else that's thinking that way. I won't ever I won't ever answer you publicly, because you came to me specifically for a reason. But this is a phenomenal thing that'll change your life. It'll add years to your life, and and again, just want to say thank you to all the people who did videos before me. They have been an incredible help to me. And you guys all played a huge part of making this new life of mine possible. And this wasn't just a weight decision for me. It was a decision that I was afraid of surgery. I'm afraid of needles. I faint at the sight of blood, and somehow was able to make it through all that and would do it 100 times over and would never think twice. So please, everybody have a great, happy holidays. Hopefully, the next time I'm on here, I'm down in the 230s and the 220s, and really kind of getting close to my ultimate goal. I really have been kind of taking it easy lately, so I'm starting to feel the urge to really want to kick it in and knock this out over the next couple of months. So, again, Merry Christmas to everybody, and please feel free to reach out to me anytime you need me. All right? Thanks, guys. Bye.